if each and every one of you here had an opportunity to sit with the Minister of Education, that she said, well, today I want to meet the school zone team. You'll come to the ministry, let's sit down and lecture. Give me your recommendation. What do you want Ministry of Education to do? Let me know what will be one or at least two recommendations that you are going to make. Let's begin from you.
My first topic would be on the learning aspect in which you take all subjects. You take all subjects, and it's not supposed to be like that. We need to take what you want to do in the future. You focus on that. That's what we need to do. Like really.
Like really?
Yeah.
So they should reduce some.
Yeah, they should reduce some of the subject and focus on the main point or on the main subject you need to focus on to get it.
So I want making most students to fail. Huh? I want making most of the students to fail because the subject plenty.
Yeah, some students say like for math and English, it's very compulsory for you to do that. But like you taking math and English, you put biology, you put chemistry, you put geography. You don't do that. What you need to do is put everything into section, so we should follow the path to build our future in a better way.
All right. Anyway, we hear that. They hear you.
So my first recommendation to the minister would be on evaluating teachers' certificates, their CVs. He needs to set up a system in which to all schools around Liberia, not just government school, public schools, private schools, they need to send individuals or a team there that will be able to evaluate, teachers' CVs. Because sometimes some teachers will enter class and they don't have any idea on the topic, and that alone is a problem for the children that is under that teacher voice. It's going to be very, very hard to grab that subject. If somebody teach physics, right, and because when you get out of high school, you enter college, you're not coming go over something that you should be taking back in 10th grade. What your professors will do is that they just hitting the main things there. So if you don't have, for example, if you don't know the ABC, and you sat in nursery, you went to K2, first grade, second grade, you don't know the ABC, or you don't know 1 + 1, what will it give you? When you get into senior high, and maybe for if you want to do logarithm, and they say log 3, log 4, log 5, they bring out that thing there, and they give you the base, and you don't know how to times. You don't even know your timetable. It will give you hard time. And you don't have calculator, because sometimes what we the student of nowadays we do is that we depend on calculators. It's so terrible that we don't even know 4 times 4 what it will give you when you enter a classroom where you don't have student learning that kind of stuff, because whatever you learn from somewhere is what's going to be able to build you up. So if you don't have a solid foundation, the enter college is going to be very hard. So the minister should be able to send teams to various schools around Liberia to be able to view teachers' CVs before they enter a classroom. So my second problem there is that my second problem would be on
the recommendation.
My second recommendation to the minister would be on schools' fees.
School fees.
Yes. Their information sheets. It's good that we have schools up to standards. They'll put everything in that information sheet. But when you get into the school system, what the word? You realize or encounter a different Zoom.
You?
Yes.
So the information sheet.
Yes.
The information sheet will be saying something else.
Yes.
And when you get in the school, it's a whole round ball.
It's a different thing.
Tell me it.
So, for example, various schools, what they will do is that they will talk about color day. They will say color day fees are in the school fees, right? Parents should pay for color days.
Sure.
Or they will say damages fees are within the school fee. But if a student has to break a chair in the class, what the principal will do is that either you pay or you get suspended from school.
And you have already paid
And you
within
paid
the
for it.
information sheet.
Yes.
Then next, for example, first of all, I want to tell the president, thank you for paying for wax for 12 period.
We're coming there.
Yeah. So if the president paid for wax, right? If the president wasn't going to pay for wax in the school goes to wax office and they get off,
Stay
then for wax
out.
that each student should pay certain amount. What they'll do is that they will add their own stuff there.
Yeah.
They will give really hectic for parents. If wax office will tell each child to pay around $100, maybe the school will add it up, and that is corruption. So the minister should please examine schools information sheet before schools open. It's really important that they examine school information sheet. And if they examine it, they should go to the school, look around the facility, because some schools, it's so terrible that when you're in a school and they talk about their bathroom, we are girls, young women, we are so open to bacteria,
I
right?
coming there. We got a question. That should be my second to the last question. That one thing that girls face as a problem in school. I'm coming to that. So, conclude your recommendation. Then let me get to the next.
So that's
one.
my recommendation. Please, Mr. Minister, I don't know your full name, but please examine school information sheet before schools are to be open. Thank you.
Okay, for me, if I'm opportune to meet the Minister of Education, I would like to approach him on the school fees of those private schools. Because you see that there are some parents who do not have the financial ability to pay for those school fees, and then their students will send their students to that school due to the academic aspect. Maybe like the student want to play or football or keyboard or quizzing, and then there are a lot of activity within that private school where the student or the school will come and say, oh, you need to buy tracksuit, you need to buy kako, you need to buy and size, everything, uniform, everything in the school. The private school is comparing you to buy those things from the school, and also the school fee is also up, and then they are comparing students to buy those things from the school. So I'm begging the Minister of Education to at least please let him be able to send team to all those various schools, at least to be able to check those schools before at least they can open. That is my recommendation.
Okay. So let's get your own quickly. Have you recommended?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
you.
If I'm given the opportunity to meet the Minister of Education, I'll emphasize on the science lab for students.
Okay.
Probably, I'm not saying he should go to school, to various schools, telling them to build science lab or build science lab in each schools. But as a government or a ministry, build a science lab that school will be able to go there and perform experiments. Then, because as a science student, you can say you're a science student and you're not doing experiment. You're there in the classroom,
Sure.
biology, chemistry, pamphlet, note, and you're not doing anything. Practical, it helps sometimes.
So, okay. Go ahead.
So my recommendation to the Ministry of Education is to help in the process of science lab for science students.
Okay. So, let's look at it now. Right. All right. Your recommendation was heard perfectly. Now, we know that there are bad things, but there are some good things. Is there any good thing that you know that our educational sector is involved with you that you want to commend them for? Is there any good thing? Be fair. I want you to say the truth.
Like,
Is there any good thing?
good thing, like,
I don't
what the
know.
government doing for the country
We
on
talk.
Education.
the education
We
side.
talk a lot of things that we have issue with our educational sector, right?
Yes.
Now I'm asking a question. Do you have anything on your mind that you can say, yeah, for our educational sector, this one is good for Liberia? Is there anything like that?
So, one good thing, I want to, appreciate the educational minister for, or those who are there and the president wants is the toughness we get from the education system.
The toughness.
Yes.
How?
For example, if you are in school and from first grade up to 9th grade, you have to take sometimes 13 to 14 subjects. And you get in senior high. And they have to split the subjects, science and arts. So science and arts came about just maybe 2 or 3 years back. That when it came about. But before that, you had to take all the subjects. So those who went through that process, they came out really tough and strong. So when you take it from first grade to 9th grade, and you have to take all the subjects, you have a little bit of idea on those subjects, so that tomorrow when you get outside there and the people talking about, maybe they're talking about subject like phonics, you'll be able to pronounce words good, you'll be able to break words down.
So in other words, because this woman spoke against that book. This woman said that is a major problem with this Liberian educational business here. But now you are saying you prefer that. So you see him being likeness?
Yes.
What another person don't like? What another person
another
like?
person don't.
Go ahead, I like it. Conclude on
So it's really tough.
it. So you like the fact that government stuck the subject on Liberian students to open their head.
But they took it from first grade up to 9th grade. I like the way they split the subject.
Making the foundation tough.
Yes.
Okay. Let me hear you quickly.
Yeah.
Do you have, by the way, do you have any good thing that you feel the government is doing too in our educational sector too? You think so? Any good thing there?
Well, what I really love is the question on the question aspect, but I don't really know if the question aspect is from the mini.
If you don't know, so who will know? Because are you hearing? So why you don't know? Why you bringing it up? So if there's nothing good you know about it, say there's nothing good I don't think the educational sector for.
Okay, one thing I would like to appreciate the education sector is the question aspect. Yeah, wherein students at least will be able to become an outspoken person.
Yes.
Yes.
Excuse me, is it the government that do quizzing?
No.
That government suppose my school now want to do quizzing with the government close my school?
No.
So is it government that doing quizzing for people?
No.
No, not government.
Okay.
Government not giving nobody power to do quizzing, or else all the school will do quizzing, but the school are not doing quizzing.
Yes.
So that government doing that. So like I said, if you know that there is nothing you have identified that is good, you're not forced to say good thing now. You can say, well, for now, I identify nothing here from the government and
Sure.
that is good. It's your right. Okay? It's your right. So my question here is, do you have any positive side about the government educational sector that you want to talk about? One point?
No.
Thank you. What's about you?
Yes.
Okay, let's say it quickly.
Why I really tell the government thank you for about the education sector. The positive side is the wire fee. I really appreciate them.
The wax fee.
Yes, the wire fee. I appreciate them a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
What did they do with wax fee?
The wire fees, they pay for the students. At least they reduce the burden on some parents. Yes.
Reduce the burden on
Yes.
Alright.
One good thing I see about the education system in Nigeria is the textbook that they provide to exhaust our curriculum. But we as students, we don't really like reading.
Okay.
But the textbook they provide as a government is very beneficial for us. It helps us exhaust all our curriculum. As long as you read ahead of time, you will get along with your curriculum.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, that is the side of the government. We as the student too. That was the side of the government that you spoke. Good thing, right? We as a student, do you think we get our own problems too? Or all just on the government and the student?
We have our own problems.
Students got our own problem.
Yes.
So let's know one of student problem. Like our own problem too, they say that your own problem put you in a trouble. So
Yes.
let's hear from you. Why you think one problem that student to get?
The cell phone aspect.
The cell phone aspect.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
We spend more time on the cell phone more than our textbook.
Doing what on the phone?
Facebooking, WhatsApp, Instagram, now the newly app TikTok. So
More time on the phone, it's
yeah,
just telling.
yeah, then the textbook.
So what bad is that doing?
It affected a lot because spending 4 or 5 hours on your phone, you can take that time and read a book. Especially as a senior student like me, while spending 4 or 5 hours on your phone, why you can take that instead ahead of time for like your watch and national exam ahead of time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, some of our positive, some of the positive things we student. Wow.
Student own a problem too. Everybody get problem
okay. Student problem in school are some of us we go home, we don't take book to study, we sit down with nothing home, doing nothing.
That one, what does it do? Nothing.
It break it break your thinking on your it break the mind on studying your lesson to pass, because if you say you will not do anything like touching your book, like for instance, teacher gave you notes like 4 or 5 pamphlets to study, and you know that you go to school for 6 weeks, like for my school, we go to school 6 weeks in a month, like you go to school for a period. You go to school the first week for note, second week, third week, they start giving assignment, and you take that opportunity, that time to sit home, you take your book to study nothing, your pamphlet, nothing, you sit down. How will you pass? You will not pass at all. You will
So meaning the
get back
students
to it,
are
yeah.
not making themselves to read their notes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
First of all, we are weak. Very weak. Yes. One advantage on our weakness is our internet. Technology have to do with it. We put technology in 2 aspects, one positive and negative. You can get your phone as a student and do research, but what we enjoy doing is that we rather buy data to either watch somebody on TikTok doing some kind of video that is not going to help us educationally. They got
Time wasting.
yes. So if you take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, what you can do for yourself in a day, set a precedent for yourself. Like, I come from school 2 or 3. As for the 12th grade marathon, we go home by 4:30. So we have extra class right after school because we don't do Saturday classes. So for us, when you get home 4:30. Within 30 minutes, you can wash your uniform, find something to eat, rest a little bit. 5:30, you take your book. It's not anything big. Sometimes the enjoyable part about learning is when you study something and you go take tests. It will be so sweet when you're taking the test. People may complain about it, but you get writing and you feel so good that you know that thing. So we don't have the energy to study. What we do is that we get home. Sometimes we start doing some unnecessary lecture, like lecture that will not even benefit.
So many students waste time instead of paying attention to lesson, they do other things.
Yeah.
You got anything to say?
Sure.
Say.
One of the bad side of a student in the education sector is that we feel more reluctant in studying our lesson.
Okay.
In doing that, we will feel more, certified to follow our friends who are in those bad habits in our various schools, who are in those drugs addicts. And whenever teacher is in class, we move on in class, we follow our bad friends, go taking those bad stuff, and we come in class, we start with the step. You see in school, they all have the backup hours, so nurse maker, they're feeling reluctant to study that lesson. They call themselves, backup people.
So the students, those are problems from
those
students.
are problems students. They step all people who are actually want to learn.
Okay. So conclusively, let's just begin with you. What you think is this is your concluding statement and closing, I'm not talking about you again. What do you think should be done to help students to help themselves, or what method do you think can be put in place to make students improve?
Well, it's the method to be put in place. The education sector need. Come again?
I should come again?
Yeah, same.
My question says, you just name students' problem. what do you think from your view that needs to be done for students to pick up the spirit? Because we talk about all the things you need as your career is to help your country.
Okay.
Now, if I'm not reading, I'm not writing, I'm not studying, I'm paying attention to Facebook, I'm doing this and that, obviously I will not achieve the goals that you talk about. So meaning the country will not go nowhere. And remember from the beginning, I asked you, why are we going to school? And why you said, to impact positively. So if you're not impacted, can you impact?
No.
So I'm asking you now that you say students got their own problem. So we as friends, what should we do or what can be done to help reduce this our problem? Beginning from you.
Well, the main thing that we need to do to help reduce the problem is that for the school, the administration or the administrator, need to be very vigilant on those people who are in the constant habit of taking those bad substances. Yeah, if you are found taking those bad substances, at least the school need to at least carry on, maybe like punish you, that give you a punishment that will serve as deterrent to the others. Yeah.
First of all, you gotta encourage yourself that you want to do something in life before you hit. So we don't just wake up in the morning and we become president or become a doctor, or our dreams just come to us like that. You gotta wake up every morning and tell yourself, I want to become this. For me to become this, I need to go through this process. So as an individual, as students, we need to have the mindset that we want to become something positive. You gotta first encourage yourself before somebody out there encourages you, right? You gotta be a role model for yourself before you find a role model out there. So I want for every student within each school in Liberia to become a role model for yourself. Wake up in the morning, stand even your mirror, or find a mirror in your house, or you can get up on your bed and tell yourself, I want to become something positive for Liberia tomorrow. Because we are learning not just for ourselves, we are learning for our family, we are learning for the nation Liberia tomorrow. Liberia is depending on us. We are the next future leaders. So if you can tell yourself to be, in that position, like, I want to go to school, I want to learn, will not make it in.
Okay.
Yeah. If you as a student, you're going to school, you need to study to make a good grade or to be a successful person. All you need to do is to study. To study to make a good grade. You don't need to feel reluctant. They get you note, you say, oh, the note is too much. You need to still get time to study to be a successful person.
Okay. Yeah, my brother.
One advice to our students around Liberia is to spend more time on your textbook than on your cell phone. More browsing on business things and more browsing on useful things is more than browsing on business things. So I encourage all students around Liberia to pay attention to their textbook that will help them with their curriculum, and also in the process of learning as a student in Liberia.
Okay. All right. Viewers, you heard them right. They are students and they have spoken their minds. What they had in mind was what they said. So we pray that things will get better. And if you are out there and like we said, you have your own info for this program, you can just call the number rolling on your screen. And that's how we come to the School Zone Liberia program today called My Career, My Health. So we say see you next time on our platform. Bye-bye from my end.